Hello. Hello. We're going to get started here. Hi, everybody. I'm Parker Kay. I run this space called Pumice Raft where you all are sitting in today. Welcome to If the Path Was Paved in Asphalt, a reading series co-organized with Rosemary Flutur, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but was kind of instrumental in putting this crew together of readers. Also, tonight we're celebrating the launch of Gyre Gimble, a new Pumice Raft publication featuring the Jesse Sarkis Sundial collection of photographic prints and ephemera, as well as a new essay commissioned by Rowan Lynch, kind of dealing with solar architecture, pagan traditions, and her kind of experience of a recent trip to Ireland. So these are available. We're going to have an intermission after the first two readings. So if you want a copy, please come and talk to me or Jesse. So a bit about why we're here. The current exhibition that we're sitting in is called Exuberance. It's a group exhibition featuring Casimir Ernest Gasser, Jeremy Jansen, and Esther Sibiude. And the works kind of came together around this text by a French philosopher named Georges Bataille. And he wrote an economic theory that posits, instead of thinking about economics in terms of scarcity, he likes to think about it in terms of abundance, kind of starting from this place of, with the sun rising every day, every living thing on the planet, it has to reckon with the abundance of solar energy that is kind of constantly washing over us. And Bataille considers this to be a luxury. So I really liked that idea of constantly navigating abundance and luxury, and I think the works in the show deal with this in indirect or direct ways. And the book, Gyre Gimble, Jesse and I have been working on this kind of collection of photographs of sundials for the better part of 3 years, and working on a show that kind of was dealing with the sun. We thought we should get our act together and make a book. So that's kind of how we got here. So maybe Jesse, I'll invite you to say a few words about the book, and then I'll introduce our first reader.
So thank you, Parker. I'll just talk a little bit. I'm Jesse. I don't think I know most of you, but I'm sure I'll talk to you after. So a little bit about the collection. I became really interested in sundials when I saw a book in BMV. It was a textbook about the construction of sundials. It had this amazing yellow cover, and it kind of jumped out from the shelf at me. And it started this visual research project where I would compile all these images of sundials on Instagram. Maybe you know my Instagram page, Sexy Sundials. So since 2015, I've been amassing these digital images, but also collecting physical images, so press photographs from defunct newspapers and personal photographs and books about sundials and all these things. So that's the collection. It's about 300 objects now, and Parker has always been a big supporter of this interest and research. Invited me to a talk in 2017, Struggles with Images, where I got to think through some of that stuff. The next year I did a first book, but with our mutual friend, featuring some images from the collection and some writing. And now the collection grew over the pandemic. Parker has been so generous and supported it, digitizing it, storing it. And now we have, and that's actually an open question, Gyre or Gyre? It's from Jabberwocky. What is the right way to say it? I don't know. Gyre? Okay. I was wrong. And you're all right. So a special thank you to Parker for that. Thank you to Rowan as well. I know Rowan can't be here, but read the text. There's a digital copy, even if you don't purchase a book. Before I give the mic back to Parker, I'm just going to read a little text because Rose couldn't be here, Rowan couldn't be here, and so I whipped this up last night. Forgive me if it's rusty. So it's titled, "Every Photograph is of Us Together." So in his writing on the French epistemologist Michel Serres, is that too loud? Can't tell. Professor of organizational psychology Stephen D. Brown summarizes Serres' recounting of the measurement of the pyramids by the Greek philosopher Thales, who used a simple gnomon to do so, the gnomon being the part of the sundial that casts the shadow onto the dial's face. Thales, the fragile mortal, stands before the immortal and vast stone monuments. He is equipped solely with a wooden peg sunk into the sand. As the sun sets, the shadows cast by pyramid and peg create two corresponding isosceles triangles, which can be measured and compared using basic geometric principles. In this theater of measurement, invented through the simple act of placing a peg in the sand, it is as though everything changed place. The weak human overcomes ancient hewn stone. The mobile sun produces immobile geometric forms. A third space of knowledge emerges on the sand, enveloping both philosopher and pyramid. So according to Brown, for Serres, this was a remarkable scene entirely outside of the Cartesian space of representation, and hence to us moderns, somewhat inexplicable. In the early days of photography, there was a similar inexplicability felt by many when exposed to their first ever photographs, the first photographs they'd ever seen. In Henry Fox Talbot's The Pencil of Nature, appearing in 1844 as the first published book of photographs, Talbot himself wrote the following to dispel rumors that his works were the product of modern necromancy. The images are impressed by the agency of light alone, without any aid whatsoever from the artist's pencil. They are the sun pictures themselves, and not, as some persons have imagined, engravings in imitation. So the camera creates sun pictures, fixed in time. The sundial marks time, describes the cosmos, and is sort of a proto-camera. The word gnomon itself comes from the Greek and can be translated as one who knows or one who examines. So again, from Serres, the black of the ink on the white page reflects the old shadow coming from the sun by the needle of the gnomon. The gnomon knew, discerned, distinguished, intercepted the light from the sun, left lines on the sand as if it were writing on a blank page, and yes, understood. So less a clock than an observatory, the sundial invites contemplation as an interface between human and planetary mortality, an analog to Bataille's theory of general economy, which Parker's mentioned. The abundant outpouring of this stellar energy is only possible because of the inevitable death of the sun, which is projected onto our life and sort of scorched into every photograph. So in my mind, the pictures are not just of you and I, but every photograph is a picture of all of us together. So I'll just end with an excerpt from Our Death by Sean Bonney, which is a collection of poems that Rowan makes reference to in the text she wrote. The sun is doing whatever suns do. The citizenry all creeping like flowers. Idiots. The sky is gray on further gray, and the haunting, its sharpened hail, never stops. Thank you.